Hi everyone, how are you doing? Happy Tuesday, happy Archetypes Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a great evening. I hope you've had a great day listening to archetypes, talking about archetypes, marinating in archetypes. I know I have been the whole day, spent the whole day on archetypes, almost the whole day, I should say. But it's been a fantastic day. Welcome to Facts and Two Cents. As you know, we are a channel that supports the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry, Meghan, Archie, Baby, Lily, Mama Doria, Pula, Guy, the Chickens, Mama Mia, Invictus Community, and all of us here at Sussex Squad. As you know, we are biased, petty, and everything else in between. And we embrace it. So there we go. But anyways, again, this is Petal. Welcome everyone, all of my friends in the chat. I am so happy you guys are here. I know our our London squaddies, or I should say our UK squaddies, they are most likely sleeping by now. And I keep promising like I'm not gonna do these late night ones, but there are some times that I just can't help it, and it just has to be this time, which is today. So, anyways, I just would love to hear from you guys just to see what you got out of it. I'm sure, I have not a chance to listen to Baron or Duchess of Success. They were on earlier, so I didn't get a chance to listen to them. So, but I'm assuming, that's what we're all talking about. You know what I mean? It's like, what else are we talking about? It's Archetypes Tuesday. So we're going to be talking about archetypes. I'm sure that's what, they're talking about too. So without even listening to them. So, anyways, all my friends are hanging out with me in the chat, and our 98 other friends just hanging out with us. So most a lot and not in the chat right now, but I am just happy that you guys are going to spend your, a couple of hours or at least an hour and something of your time. And I'm really, really grateful that you'll do that. Spend a little bit of your time with me tonight. So I see Fancy is here, and Black Queen and Annie and Joyce is here. Joyce is like, I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it too. I see myself in the chat. Karen M, our awesome moderator, is here. Hi, Karen M. And Kathy Gabby is here. Hi, Kathy. And I think I said Black Queen before, didn't I? I think I did. Hi, Black Queen. And Educate You too. Wow, I don't think I've seen you here before. Maybe I have and I just forgot. So if I did, I apologize, but I am happy you're here. Sistren is here and Joan is here. Hi, guys. Who else is here? JJ. It's like JJ's over here. Hi, JJ. Saying hi to Fancy. And yep, we got Sistren and Rochelle and Angela and Kenitha. Hi, Kenitha. How are you? And Emma Day and Mara and Maggie. Hi, guys. I am so... Oh, Auntie Jane is here. Hi, Auntie Jane. And Darlene is here. Hi, Darlene. And Valerie and Karen Warner is here. Oh, my goodness. So thank you, guys. Hildy. Hey, Hildy. I see you here, too. Hi, Hildy. Hildy is here. So... anyways, welcome. Hi, Legs is hanging out with us too. And I'll get to everyone else as we go through and find out, what you guys got out of it. So I'm going to, right away, I'm going to actually put the link in the chat. So I would love to hear from you. If you'd like to call in and chat with me, that would be awesome. I'm going to put the link in there. It's in the chat right now. So if you'd like to call in, a minute or two, just share with us what you got. I'd love to hear from you. So, yeah. So, again, no pressure, but don't leave me hanging. I'd love to hear somebody calling in. And, again, a couple of minutes. Tell us what you got out of it, which was a whole lot. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but there were so many things that I didn't know, and so and I always pride myself because, one, my grandfather is, half Asian, and two, most of my life in New York I've had Asian roommates and stuff like that in New York. Like I had back-to-back two Asian roommates. Actually, one of them, I swear to you, she's like my blood sister. And so I spent what 4 years eating kimchi and kim and all of all she loved to cook. And so I end up eating all of this great Korean food. And so when Megan was talking about the food, I was like, oh yes. I remember one of my roommates, her mom is still in Korea, and she would send us bags of and then she would send kimchi, and it was like, oh my gosh, it would be so hot, and my tears are running down, and I'm sweating as I'm eating the kimchi. But that's what I was thinking of when you know, when Megan was talking, Asian food is like my favorite thing in the world. Most of what I eat, really, if I go out, it's usually something Asian. So I absolutely, so when Megan was talking about the food part, I was like, I mean, I don't know how to cook any of that stuff, but I love eating it. And so, in a lot of ways, I loved how she connected with the Asian community in that, and also with her mom, going her mom taking her to get like their massage and eating amazing noodles. And I love the whole, like, how she's able to connect with the culture. And actually one of our squatties posted this, and I was like, yes. This is Megan with the very big hair. It's so funny, she had the biggest hair. um, and at school with her friends and her, some of her Asian friends. And I'm like, yeah, that's it. Definitely, California is a very, 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 very culturally diverse, as is New York. And so I love it. So I would love to hear from you guys what if you want to call in, or I'm going to go through the chat as well. And to see what you guys got out of it, what you loved, what you got, what you learned, what you just didn't know and learned. I mean, I would just love to, hear from you. So let's see. Catherine, right away, Catherine says, hi, Pedal in the Squad. The podcast was great on my 6th time listening. Man, Catherine, you got me beat. I just finished my 2nd time before I came on, because I listened to it earlier and then I was doing other stuff. And then I came back. I was like, okay, let me listen to it again. And I keep saying, I don't know if you guys have the same thing. I keep saying everyone that comes out, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is my favorite. And then, and then Sarita was there. And of course, that's the first one. And then Mariah came on. I was like, oh, this is my favorite. And then, and then we had the other one, and we're like, that's my favorite. And then you have this one, and it's like, that's my favorite. And so everyone now is my favorite. And so it is just like, I absolutely, and for me, I purposely didn't go researching Margaret Cho. Like, I knew a little bit about Lisa Ling, because from watching The View a long time ago when she was on it, I saw a few episodes when she was in. So I knew her from there. But then after that, I hadn't, again, I haven't watched television in so long. So I don't know the other things that she was talking about, like the other shows and stuff that she was on. So it's just like, so, and again, I purposely did not research them, because I just wanted to hear from them who they are and what she was about. So Margaret, I knew nothing about, literally nothing. I knew the name. That's all I knew about her. And I did it to so much so, like, I didn't really, like, I thought, I mean, I may have heard she was in comedy, but I don't even remember if I knew that much. And so I just learning about her from her was just so beautiful, and just all the things that she shared about herself. So I am just like, again, oh, we have someone calling in. Karen is calling in. So we're going to give Karen a minute or two to tell us what she has gotten out of it. And yeah. So let's see. Hang on one second. Let's just pull that off of there. Okay. So hi, Karen, how are you?
Hi, squatties. Hi, Petal. How are you guys
Hi,
doing?
I'm good. So in 2 minutes, share with me what you got out of the podcast.
Okay. First, I have to jump on this one before I forget, and it's when she said, "I don't I'm not going to quote it exactly because I listened to it earlier and I didn't get a chance to listen to it again. Just
Okay.
crazy today for me. Um, when she talked about uh, big, what did she say? Big something coming from little people or
Oh,
something
big
like that.
sounds from little places. Yes.
Big sounds from little
I think
people.
we all kind of
Oh,
clued in on to what that could be.
oh my God. She just got a way of just sucking it to everyone, just
Mm-hmm.
sucking it to them. She just got a way of just hitting back, which is so great. It is so awesome. The next thing I picked up on is how well she can speak Chinese or
Oh,
Asian
oh, yeah.
or
Well,
Korean or
Korean,
whatever.
yeah, Korean, yeah.
Yes, she is so good at languages. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I mean, she
and
just said like a couple of words, but it just sort of rolled off her tongue,
but
right?
it rolled off. It rolled
Yeah.
off, and it tells me that she is the type of person who can pick up language very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
And because even if it's a couple of words, a lot of us would struggle with it, but
Right, right, right.
for
Yeah,
some reason
yeah.
it just rolls off like if it's a language she speak all the time,
Right, right,
So
right. Yeah.
yeah, and uh, Lisa Lang, I know her and I watch a lot of her programs. Her programs are very, very interesting. They're very deep, and
Mm-hmm.
she touches take on a lot of serious topics and dive into it. She goes into into the zones, into the trouble zone. She troubleshoots a lot. It's
Right,
like her programs are really deep and they're very, very good. She brings out a lot of issues
right, right.
and touching a lot of them. Um, the other lady, sorry,
Margaret Cho, yeah.
Margaret Chow. Yes.
Cho, yeah.
Um, yes, I enjoy her because she's so funny. You just laugh
Mm-hmm.
all the time. So
Yeah. Well, she is a comedian.
yes, yes,
Yeah,
but
so she's able
she is
to,
really,
yeah.
really, really, really funny. And
Yes.
and she talks about herself a lot, and joke about herself a lot, which is like really great. You know,
Yeah.
a nice thing for anyone to do that shows how confident you are, within yourself as well.
Right.
Um, but it's just amazing with it just brings out all the years and years of stereotyping and uh, I'm trying to figure out what the word is. Basically, that we all lived under, okay, for
Mm,
years and had to
yeah.
build these thick skin just to get up
Exactly.
every day to go out and face and do what we have to do to survive and face all of this, you know
Right.
and
Yep.
it's just like Megan talking about this and bringing it out. It's just like just at unwrapping those wounds that
Mm-hmm.
we all carried around all through our life, over the
Right.
years,
Wow. Yeah.
and
Well,
it's a healing process for her because this tells us how deep how deep the situation that she was in, okay, how deep it was.
yeah.
Because I don't think a lot of people really understand the depths of what she has encountered in the last 4 years. Yes,
Right.
because of
Yeah.
the you know her lighter color, she might not have you know got the brunt of what racism is in terms of a darker color black person,
Right.
but she was put in that box because she is biracial and she does have black in her. She has a black mom. So
Right.
she was put in that box without her choosing, and
Right.
she got the brunt. She got
Right.
the deep brunt of it. And
Right. So,
more because because as they say, she's the diva, she's brazen, she's whatever. and she's an ambitious person. Okay,
Right.
she even got more because of that environment of misogynism and the nasty old men in those environments. You
Right.
know,
Well, Karen,
so
thank you so much. I'm so sorry. I'm
anyway,
gonna cut you off only
no, no, no,
because I
it's
want.
okay.
No, no,
It's okay.
I
These
appreciate
these
everything you're saying because
conversations
it's so right.
are very long
Yes.
and deep. So talk to you later.
Yes.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate what you shared. I so appreciate it. Thank you, Karen.
You're welcome.
Okay. Bye.
Bye there. Bye, squatties.
Thank you so much, Karen. That is just so, I mean, everything she said is so on point. So very on point. And I just want to see what you guys said. Again, please, as the link is in the chat. Thank you so much, Karen. Hopefully others will call in, but I'm going to also go into the chat and highlight what you guys are saying in the chat. So again, call in 1 or 2 minutes, 2 minutes, and share with us what you got. I'd love to hear from you. Let's see. Going in the chat and see what you got. Joyce says, Lisa Ling stated, nails that stick out are hammered. That was for me what they have done to Meghan, but Meghan is much stronger for it. And oh my goodness, it's so funny. That was one of the things for me too. I literally put it down in my notes to talk about because that is such a profound point. You know, everyone, basically society wants you to sort of blend in. That's the thing. You want to come in and blend in, and anybody sticks out, it's just like no. And they want to pound you down so that you fit into whatever mold that they've put you in. And I am so here with you on this, Joyce. Absolutely so here with you, because that I mean, when she said that, I was like, wow. Wow. And she went on to say, and it's so funny, I'm reading it right here in my notes. Where is it here? Hang on one second. Hang on. Oh, she says, and I think culturally, particularly in the Asian culture, it's been that sort of discourages you, discourages that, that popular term that nails that sticks out gets hammered down. And then she goes on further to say, but we're empowered to be able to say what we want whenever we want. And that really powerful thing. And again, as part of the, oh wait, I think I missed missed the other part that I want, where she was talking about we are part of a culture now that we don't want to be hammered down. We don't want to. I thought I brought it in, but I didn't. But yeah, she was talking about when she goes in, it's kind of like what Karen was brought it up to, when she goes into spaces. I guess the tendency is to want to sort of blend in. And she, instead of doing that, that's when she stands up. That's when she said she speaks louder and stands taller and claim that space. Because, especially within that culture, you're supposed to be, you're supposed to make yourself a little smaller, but she tries to stand out. And so when you stand out, people try to pound on you. And that's exactly what they did to Meghan, because Meghan stuck out in so many ways in her situation at the, in the royal institution. And they're still trying to pound her. They are still trying to pound that woman, So, oh, thank you so much, Nash. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And oh, Nash, it's her birthday too. Hi, Fennel. I will try to call in, but I'm having my birthday dinner with my family. Oh, it's your birthday and you're donating that. Oh, Nash. So, okay, so then I gotta sing you happy birthday while you're having dinner. So everyone sing with me, although I can't hear you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Nash. Happy birthday to you. Enjoy your dinner. And thank you so much for your donation. Oh, it's her birthday and she's giving. I can't believe you did that. But thank you so much for your support. I hope you're having a fantastic time with your family. And don't worry if you can't, hanging out with your family is more important. I just appreciate that you would even come on. So, anyways, happy birthday, my love. Oh, and all these squaddies wishing you a happy birthday. Aw, that is so nice. Oh, wait, no. Sister is saying hello. Valerie is also wishing you happy birthday. And Sister is wishing you, and Gwendolyn. Oh, that's so nice. Nice to have a birthday in the evening. Have a birthday dinner in the evening. That's awesome. But anyways, let's go through. Let's see more chat, more comments in the chat. Again, let me actually put the link again in the chat. And if you want to call in a couple of minutes and share with us what your thoughts are about archetypes. Black Queen says, I love the bonus with Lisa Ling's daughter, how easy Meghan with children and how they gravitate to her. Also showed how the younger generation is more confident in their skin and spaces. And I absolutely love that. And Meghan addressed that as well, that, actually Lisa Ling's daughter, twice she described herself as weird, and it's like, yeah, sometimes we are weird. We do weird things, and it's like we all have our weird moments, and that's how she saw herself. She sees herself as weird, and so it's like, and I love how Meghan just embraced it, and because sometimes if a child say I'm weird, and you'll be like, oh no, you're not weird, you're this or you're that, and it's like, no, this is how she is right now, and she's being honest and being real in the moment of how she sees herself. And I love how Meghan just embraced it and allowed her to feel like, yeah, so sometimes you do see yourself as weird. And so I absolutely love it. And also actually Karen mentioned that about when Meghan talked about those small voices in little places that try to shape you into, or try to tell you who you're supposed to be in those times. And it's like, no, you be who you are. Yeah. So let's see. Scrolling down. I'm going to scroll all the way down and then come back up. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Katie. I appreciate it. Thank you for the super sticker and your support. Thank you. Wow, I appreciate your support, guys. Thank you. Let's see. Kathy says, this is exactly what Angela Levin said a little while back, that Meghan didn't want to fit in. The requirement to shrink oneself by the loud voices has been challenged and pushed back. Wow, this is so powerful. And you're right, because they were like, they wanted her to be 50% of herself, and so since she would not be 50% of herself, they tried to pound her to be that way. And so, wow, this is powerful. Thank you, Kathy. Absolutely, thank you. Let's see. Oro says, hi, Pedal Squad. Oh, hi, Oro. How are you? Just got home from work, pedals up. Singing lovely. What a surprise. Oh, least I could do was to sing our squaddy a happy birthday. I wish I could hear everyone, because I'm sure everybody was singing as well. But, I wish I could hear everyone, like we could all be singing together. Maybe if you had called in, we could all sing together. Let's see. Joyce. Hi, Joyce. Joyce says, hi, squaddies. Loving this. I'm so happy for Meghan and Harry. Things are going to work out well for them. Lord willing, all keep our prayers in that, things continue working out well for them. Cookies and Cream, our awesome moderator, says, Meghan's podcast was simply awesome. I've listened to it more than once already. Yep. I think if you're a squatty, that's a given. That is an absolute given that all of us have listened to this more than once. Black Queen says, I think that Meghan going to those Asian bathhouses when she was younger was her mom's way of giving her a lesson in self-care and how to love her body, flaws and all, which she honors to date. I'm telling you, Meghan's mom is amazing. I so agree with you here, Black Queen. I think just opening her up to so much culture and so much, whether it's a service and self-care and yoga and all of this stuff. I'm telling you, and then traveling and all of that stuff. She has given her such a well-rounded life. And she lived. She helped her daughter to live, so when she went into the, the royal institution, it was just like, no, I actually have a life, I'd rather my life, so I so agree with you. I so agree with you in that. Let's see who else is saying stuff as we go in. Terry says that's why they wanted Meghan to be 50% less than because she stuck out too much. Yeah. And you got that when you stick out, the attention comes when you just really so much outside of what that whatever they had in the royal family. She was so much bigger than that she stuck out, and we've seen the result of that. When they couldn't beat her, they did everything to get her out in whatever way they can. So Rory B says, oh, thank you, Rory B. I can duet with Baron. Oh, that would be nice. Maybe Baron and I can sing a song. Chase all the birds away. Oh, funny. Thank you. Thank you, Rory B. Hazel is here. Hazel says, but I listened to the podcast on LMT. What is that? Because I am not too technically inclined. However you listen to it, Hazel, that is totally fine as long as you listen to it. And also, just to let you know, someone mentioned, that some people don't really care to be listening on the, listening to stuff. They rather read. And, we all take in information differently. I'm definitely an audio person. I love listening. That's how I read a lot of my books. I walk and listen to them. But some people would rather read. So in the community page, I posted 2 links. One where you can listen to it, and one you can actually read the full transcript. Everything that is talked about is exactly what's in the transcript. So you can either listen to it or you can read it. So there you go. If you're not technically inclined and you just don't want to listen, you can absolutely just go ahead and read it. And actually, I put the link there for all the podcasts, so you can click on whichever and just read the transcript if that's what you'd want to do. There we go. Let's see. Scrolling up. I'm just so glad you guys are here. It's just like at 8 o'clock at night, I'm like, people got better things to do than to hang out. So I'm just happy you guys are here. Catherine Bird says, I love Meghan's little tidbit about her and Doria. About her and Doria, mother-daughter relationship. I do too. I absolutely do as well. It just was like, oh wow. I could literally just imagine them doing it, just so many things together. I mean, I totally relate to Meghan as a teenager. I would be mortified if I had to walk around naked. Even as an adult, I mean, if you're a member of a gym, you walk and, in the locker room and it's just like a bunch of naked people. And even then it's a little embarrassing. I'm a very modest person, so I just couldn't do it. I still, to this day, can't do it. I'm always the person there with like 2 towels, one around my waist, one around, or in a bathrobe, so yeah, that's me at the gym. Never. I'm still so modest. I just couldn't do it. It's just like, But some people are just, they're very free and they're fine, and there's nothing wrong with it. I don't know. I've just never had that, been brave enough to just walk around naked. I just never. I don't know. Probably because I'm from the Caribbean. I don't know. Maybe that's it. I don't know. Maybe our Caribbean squatties could be like pedal. That's not it. But I'm gonna blame it on the Caribbean. So there. Joy says, oh wait, Gwendolyn. Oh wait. This thing jumps. And Joyce was saying something. Here is Joyce. Joyce says, does Spotify count the reading of the transcript in the viewing numbers as well as listening to the podcast? That's a good question. I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. That would be a spot. I mean, if you're on Twitter, they are on Twitter. They are a Spotify podcast on Twitter. That's their handle. I would say ask them. So yeah, I never thought that. I have no idea. So yeah. Very, very, very good question. I wonder. And if anybody here knows, please chime in and let us know if anyone. So yeah. Kathy says, not fazed at all by nakedness. There you go. See, Kathy is completely fine. It's just me. I'm just modest in that way. I don't know. I just get embarrassed really quickly, and that would be something really embarrassing. So anyway, some of the things that I actually got out of it that was really cool was them talking about that me so horny, talk about naked, me so horny line. And I don't know, I'd never heard of it before. And it was I learned so many things on this thing. I was like, really? And then seeing how a line from a movie just sort of made its way into mainstream, where the where it was used against what's her name, Michelle Young, what's her name, who was the expert on there. Oh shoot, now I forgot what her name is. I think it's Michelle Yuen. I think it's Michelle is her first name, right? Oh goodness, I hope I'm saying it correct. Michelle Yuen, who was the expert on there about the dragon lady trope, and she was amazing. And she was talking about how I think she was in an airport or something, and somebody used that line on her, and she realized, like she said, she turned around and she realized that there was no other Asian person there, and knowing where the line came from, she realized that line and that man used that line on her. And it was just really wild how a line in a movie, in one of those movies where they're stereotyping, that it made, and they were talking about it made its way into like a music, and how it made its way into films and all of those things. And it's really, it was so interesting. Like I was like, I had no idea. And you could hear these things and not realize where they come from. And so I think that's one of the reasons why this podcast is just resonating so well and so much with people, because we're finding out, it's like, wow, I didn't know this, and I didn't know this is where it came from, and it's just really for me very, very powerful. One of the other things that I loved about it was her talking about just Korean representation, when they were talking about just the riot. There was the riot after the Rodney King version, with the 4 cops that were basically let off when they beat Rodney King, and they were just got off scotch-free. And so there was this riot, and just like 41 different Asian businesses got burnt down, and how Asians, they were like having to protect their store, and then all of a sudden they were on the news, and it was really weird for them because they had never seen themselves represented on the news before. They had never seen themselves on television, so it was a really wild for them. So they were very, very I guess really skittish about how they are coming across on on television, in such a very tense, time with all the race issues that was going on in LA at the time. And then, when Margaret was talking about, then, right after that, she had her show. And so she was, hoping that, the community would really represent and really support it. But, she's like, some people did, but some of them don't, because, coming from that situation where, they are very skittish about how they're represented, and then she didn't fit the mold of who they'd want to represent them. She wasn't the person, maybe the sweet, gentle girl next door that maybe whatever it is that they had in mind that would be the best representation of them. It wasn't it wasn't Margaret. She was talking about, like, she was gay, she was brash, she was, I guess she's a comedian. She's not what they wanted to represent. And so the show didn't do well, because it didn't have, she said that it got, like, the higher ups in the studio was like, well, maybe this is not, the right time for this kind of show. And so it was very wild that, even within the culture, she didn't feel like, she wasn't accepted, because she wasn't that cookie cutter of what maybe they had in mind for a person, a Korean person, to represent them in a positive way. But I'm just glad that she chose to just remain herself and didn't feel like she needed to, change to make them like her any better or any of those things. And so I'm so happy that she just remained who she is. And I just really loved her honesty about just all of it. I'm seeing a lot of let's see, go in here and see a lot of let's see. Catherine says there's an Asian movie I love called All Asian Love, with an all Asian cast, from the 60s, called Flower Drum Song, that has all those stereotypes. I just realized it today listening to the podcast. Wow. Isn't that interesting? It's like you didn't realize, because I think sometimes we're so trained to see things a certain way, not realizing that they're derogatory or whatever. I don't know. So you guys know, what is it? What is that movie? One of my favorite movies, Breakfast at Tiffany's. And there was that Mickey Rooney character with this horrendous caricature of an Asian man, and with him screwing up his face and the way he's speaking, and it was just like, really, it was just like, I don't know that Mickey Rooney ever lived that down, because I think there was a bit of a backlash, and hopefully a big backlash for that. That was just bad. That it was a really, like, offensive portrayal of, and again, Mickey Rooney is a white man, and it was just very, very, very offensive. So, and even though I like the movie, that part I would never forget. And he was supposed to be the humor. He was supposed to be, you're supposed to laugh. So, Cookies and Green says, oh, she's talking to Joyce. Full Metal Jacket was a good movie. I vaguely remember Full Metal Jacket. I don't remember much of it. They talked a lot about also MASH. One of the things when Margaret was talking about representation, basically, there was nobody that, was there that was on television that there was nobody that looked like her, other than she said later she got into watching this woman from silent film. But there was nothing that she could be like, okay, as an Asian woman, I want to be, other than, when she saw MASH, which, as Meghan explained, was, a movie set in Korea during the war. It was like a medical unit part of the Korean War. And so her biggest dream was to be an extra on MASH, and it was just like, wow. Because so little was represented, and the majority of the people who were in MASH that were on the show, again, the majority were extras. I don't even vaguely, was there might have been one main character on MASH that was Asian. I don't even remember. But her big dream was to be on MASH as as an extra. I mean, it's just, and that is how badly underrepresented Asian, or Black and brown people are. So let's see. And then you look at on the other side, Lisa was talking about Connie Chung. The only reason she got into, being a reporter is the only person that was on TV that looked like her was Connie Chung. And we all remember Connie Chung on the news, and she's also married to Maury Povich, and you're like, well, you love who you love, but but yeah, it's let's see. Adrian says, Lydia, she posted something about her chat will be out for a while. Something happened. Okay, I'm not really sure what this is all about, but whatever it is, I hope whomever it is you're talking about is fine. I hope you guys are good. I hope they're good. So Catherine said, Catherine, I think you're it. I keep looking at clicking on you. Gwendolyn, yes, the movie is called Flower Drum Songs. Jack Sue was on one of the stars. He played the cop on Barney Miller. Okay. Let's see who else is chatting about it. Let's see. Black Queen says the stone that the builder refused because becomes the head cornerstone. Like Margaret Cho stayed true to herself, and now she's a trailblazer in her community. Very, very, very true. Very true. And she's inspired so many people to, in the arts, she was naming off a bunch of these people that had, have the careers that they have because of her and the path that she blazed. So kudos to Margaret Cho. And she's just so honest and real. I just love her. Both her and Lisa. Oh, we have someone calling in. Maverick is calling in. So let's say hi to Maverick. Hello, Maverick. How are you?
I'm good, darling. How are you?
I am doing
good.
Hi,
squaddies. How's everybody doing after that hideous, horrendous funeral ordeal? We're all back and happy. I have not watched the podcast. Listened to the podcast yet. But
what?
Maverick, okay. No. I put it on a rotation. I put it on a rotation. I have to listen to 1, 2, and 3 over and over again while I'm doing my cleaning and things of that nature. But I do want to say this as far as Black people. And Meghan, the reason why we're interested is because she has an African descendant mother. And as far as the Black and Asian community, now I'm in California. Mm-hmm. We have always had contention in those two communities. Mm-hmm. And once again, Meghan, being a biracial woman with a Black heritage, African heritage, has the grace and the big tent umbrella welcoming to everybody involved. But we have to be very honest. Mm-hmm. A lot of the Asian community is very racist against African and Black people. And then we were talking about Mickey Rooney and Hollywood, old Hollywood. But even today, as we're speaking, in China, in Korea, they still do blackface. They still have people play the mammy and put on padded behinds and things of that nature. So what I'm saying is I know the podcast is going to be wonderful and it's going to be representative and it's going to be welcoming. But I want to get to that inner hatreds between people of colors. And why is it that if white people were so vicious to Asians, that they seem to love being in proximity to whiteness, marrying white people and never, whenever Black people, even during the 60s, when we had the civil rights movement, Black people, there's certain Asian people who are woke, as you would say, who had to let the Asians and Hispanics and things like that. If it wasn't for Black people, we wouldn't have the rights that we have in this country, because Black people, we are such at the bottom and we are the fighters that when we fight to include all peoples. Right. But a lot of these other groups, really, when they're fighting for something, it's really just for them. Right. So I would like to have a real deep conversation about, what is it the hate that the Asians have for Black people. Now, there was a person who went to China, and it was a Black person with a white person who was their friend. And they said, oh, no, we don't want Black here, but white is okay. Where did that come from? Is that from the global white supremacist movement that they have accepted that? I've noticed also Indians from India, they're like that, with that whole light skin is better and being paired fairness cream. And so that really piques my interest as to, okay, did they touch on that now? I don't know if they did. That's something very deep.
No, this is that is definitely, Maverick. That is definitely a conversation to be had, because it's very true.
Yes,
I mean, we've talked about South Asian racism on here before, and so that is very, very true. That's just a different conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they weren't talking about that. Okay.
Not at all. Today was just about the dragon lady trope. So I would say listen to that, and definitely, when we do this again, call and we can chat about that. But no, what you're saying, I just want to, just to say what you're saying is very, very, very true.
Yeah.
Just a very different conversation.
Very good. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll listen to it now, because I didn't want to be.
Yeah. No, but what you're saying is absolutely, absolutely true. So I just want to let you know, just to say that. But yeah, that is definitely, a conversation to be had. Maybe we need to do it on here and bring in a couple of people. I think that is definitely a conversation, because we've talked about that, is in terms of with the royal family and all of that stuff.
Right.
Yeah. So we've talked in that sense, but this is a conversation that definitely needs to be had. So we'll have it, but this one is a very different conversation.
Very good. Thank you, my darling.
Right. You're welcome, my love. I'm so happy. Thank you for coming
on.
Love
your singing.
Oh, I tried. Bye. Thank you so much, Maverick. And again, that is definitely a conversation that, very, 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 very true. What she said, but again, different conversation. So watch it, Maverick, and then listen to it, and then we can chat more about the I almost said the Black woman trope, the dragon lady trope. So let's see. Black Queen says, however, Meghan's podcast is showing us that we're all human beings and should not be judged by our race, gender, sexual orientation, or religion. Yeah, we talk about sexual orientation. It's so wild, because Margaret was talking about her dad and how the Korean culture, how much they are all about almost worshiping male beauty. I never knew that. I mean, and then she mentions, like, look at BTS, and it's like, yeah, it was, people definitely worship, and I just thought, it was just young, teenagers. Teenagers are always into cute boys. And so I just thought that was that. I didn't realize it was a whole culture, how, like she said, her dad loves male praise. And so it was just like, that was so interesting. I had no idea. I learned so many things on this podcast. I was just like, wow. Who knew? That was just so interesting for me, let's see what else. Lydia, awesome moderator. Lydia says, she's talking to Adrian. In some ways, she works hard to create her videos. It's sad she can't make money off of them until she wins her appeal. Please continue to support and watch. I am not sure what you are talking about or who you are talking about. So hopefully, whoever this is, that works out, because if you're making videos, you definitely want to be able to, make something off of it. So yeah, that's wild. Let's see. Valerie Cedeno. Valerie says, some Two Cents Crew member, Valerie. Some of what was exported by Hollywood, some of that was exported by Hollywood movies. They have always portrayed Blackness as evil, bad, negative in their movies. Who are you referring to? So if you want to clarify, who exact specifically that you were referring to. That would be great, Valerie. And Mimi saying, I totally agree with Maverick. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Totally agree. But again, different conversation. Joan Commonwealther says, very true what you are saying at home. They are associated with East Asians. They also don't mix with the Black community, and that is why they are not seen. Okay, so there you go. Joan is agreeing. Thank you, Joan. Donna says, I agree with the caller, but the archetype is not about racism per se, but about tropes put on women. Yeah, that's exactly. It's absolutely true what you were saying. It's just a different conversation. This is just tropes that have been put on Asian women. And again, those tropes are, that the beautiful but sexy, mysterious, dangerous person, as she as Margaret was saying, you just can't be, a person just can't be beautiful, but they have to be dangerous and sexy and all of those things. That kind of, those caricatures they put on women. So you're either that or you're this demure person on the other side of that. Let's see. Gwendolyn is also agreeing with Maverick. Maverick, absolutely the truth. They can be really prejudiced. Yep, absolutely true. And Rhonda Bryant, yes, she's saying yes. This is definitely a conversation we need to have. Thank you, Maverick, for bringing it up. Definitely a conversation. There was an incident prior to Rodney King where a young Black woman was killed by an Asian storekeeper. Wow. Okay. So we definitely need to have this conversation. Thank you, Rhonda. Let's see. Denise Miller says whites pitted us against one another from the colonialism playbook. Yep, definitely. It's kind of like, fighting your way to get the, I totally get that. Yep. So this is definitely struck a nerve. Definitely. Thank you, Maverick. Sonia saying, Maverick, you hit the nail on the head. Absolutely. Let's see. Let's see. Ma Jones says, "But I remember Two Life Crew. Oh yeah, that hook in the song, I Love You Long Time. Okay. Yeah, okay. They did mention Two Life Crew. Yep. And again, how they got that trope in into that song, and then also in movies as well. Reba says, growing up in Los Angeles, I came in contact with every race and culture, which made me realize we're all connected. People from other countries were taught to be racist against us before they got here. Wow. Yep. Absolutely. Yep. Joyce Medici says, I love Joy Luck Club. Someone was mentioning that they were a little sad that Meghan didn't mention Joy Luck Club. I watched Joy Luck Club years ago, and I would have to watch it again because I don't remember what it is I saw in the movie. So LDSW says, don't forget the movie Joy Luck Club, a story about Chinese American daughter and the relationship with their Chinese immigrant mothers. Okay, there you go. So we are all on the same page here. Thank you guys so much. Let's see, something else I got out of there. Let's see, what else did I get out of this, and we can jump onto something else. Let's see. Oh, when she asked Margaret what 3 things to describe herself. Let's get that. Hang on. Where is it? Okay. What? Yeah. She asked Margaret what three things to describe herself as a kid. Margaret said, shy, afraid, and unseen. And I'm like, wow, she's so true. What she was talking about. And then now she describes herself as joyful, growing, and nurturing. And that's such a great. I mean, it's. I mean, she's grown so much, and I think one of the what a great way to break out of not being seen than to decide, okay, I want to go into comedy. I'm going to make people laugh. People are all going to see me, and I love the confidence that take. I mean, gosh, I don't know how, if you've never been on stage, I mean, I've been on stage since I was a kid and I still get terrified. I still get pre-performance anxiety and all of that stuff. It's hard. And comedy is doubly hard. And I think she said she's been doing it since I think it was 14 or something, she got into comedy. So it is just a real testament to her that, from the place of being unseen, she's like, no, I want to make my mark. I'm going to go out there and do my thing. And I love that. I absolutely, absolutely love that. Let's see. One of the things I love is Meghan's closing thoughts. It was just so powerful and just so like, oh my goodness. And this is her closing thoughts. And if you look at the transcripts, you'll have it in there as well if you want to save it because it's beautiful. Meghan says, by the way, I asked Lisa her 3 words as well, which includes sponge-like, curious, and conscious. But I also took a moment to ask Jet, her 9-year-old daughter, the 3 words that she would use to describe herself too. And it stayed with me because, true to form, as any cool and precocious 9-year-old would do, she said the unexpected. She said one of the words she would use to describe herself was weird. She actually said weird twice. And I loved it because she gets to, as well as we all get to define ourselves as we see fit. If you want to be weird or be sponge-like, be silly or fierce, be curious, or even self-doubting or unsure some days and strong and brave on others. Whatever it is, that is up to you. Just as you yourself, just be yourself, no matter what any societal framework or archetype or loud voice coming from small place tell you that you should be. Be yourself, your full self, complete, whole, layered, sometimes weird, sometimes awesome, but always best and true self. Just be you. You're so much greater than any archetype. And I'm going to just frame this because I want to go back and just read this over and over and over and remind myself of this over and over and over because I just absolutely love this. And as Karen mentioned, when thank you, Karen. Karen mentioned, Meghan talking about that small voice, a loud voice in a small space, in a small place or from a small place. When I heard that, I'm like, yeah, that's a loud mouse in the British press from that tiny island over there across the pond. That's what I thought, And before I came on here, I saw them like, I saw an article. Someone posted like a clipping of an article claiming that Meghan is talking about the royal family. I'm like, no, she's talking about the British press, you loudmouth liars from the British press, from that tiny island. That's what she's talking. Well, at least that's what I'm getting from it. So she might not even be, but I that's what I got from it. That loudmouth people who just lie from that tiny island. So, or tiny country. I was corrected with that. It's a country. I'm talking about England. But anyways, Lydia, thank you so much for your donation. I appreciate. Oh goodness, she is amazing. Thank you, Lydia. Says Battle. We are going to praise him advance. You and Pam are close to 5,000. Congrats, like, share, subscribe. Yes, we are. We are very, very, very close. So fingers crossed, prayer, everything that we are going to get to 5,000. And I just happened to notice, and that's how me not paying attention. We are over 1 million views for our channel. And I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know. I think we're 1.8 or something like that. And I didn't even realize. And that's me not paying attention. So thank you guys so much for watching and viewing and subscribing and all of those things. I'm very excited that we're getting close to 5,000. It's like, yes, a big mark for us. So very, very exciting. Thank you guys so much. And thank you for Lydia for reminding me, because I always forget these things. So, and I need to celebrate more and celebrate these things. So absolutely. Also, Spotify today. I'm like, Spotify had me crying, almost crying, really. And I was just like, oh, I can't believe. So they obviously been tweeting about, yeah, well, really all of us in the squad, and and Spotify got in there and they were tweeting with us as well. Not some people. I wasn't part of the ones they were tweeting with, but it was just so exciting. So at first they tweeted earlier today, episode of the day, Archetypes with Meghan returned with a new episode featuring Margaret Cho and Ling on Archetypes that try to limit and define Asian women. And so this girl, and I don't know if she's a squatty or not, maybe, she says, when Meghan told us she was going to explore archetypes, I didn't realize just how much of an impact it would have on me. Today's episodes was another eye-opener. Her podcast touched deep. It wasn't long enough. I felt the same. And Spotify podcast, tweeted back to her, or at least responded to her, said, she inspires us. And I was like, oh, that is just so sweet. Whoever the person that's on their, who does their and manages their Twitter feed, I'm like, I love that person. I love it. They're just like, yeah, she inspires us. And I was like, oh. And then again, this other person, and I'm assuming, yeah, this is a squatty. She's so she was like, looks like Archetypes has taken over entertainment tab, and so Archetypes was trending. 2 of Archetypes hashtags were trending, and so she's like, Archetypes has taken over the entertainment tab, and Spotify responds, and our hearts. And I was like, oh, like I said, I was just like, I'm like, they just want me to cry. We're like, oh. And then someone else tweeted, Archetypes is an education I didn't know I needed. Listen to these women from different backgrounds share feelings that mirror my own. Really makes me feel so connected to them. We need so much more of this. And Spotify podcast respond, the education we all needed. And I just love it. I absolutely love it. I live for this stuff. So I love that stuff. And what this really made me happy. NBC Asian America tweeted about the podcast. Meghan Markle's podcast returned this week with guests Margaret Cho Ling and Nancy Wang Nguyen. She is the trope expert, to explore tropes that often depict Asian women as either submissive or overbearing. And obviously, we're doing the overbearing, the dragon lady trope today. And then Margaret Cho, actually, Scobie tweeted about it, and then Margaret Cho retweeted Scobie about it. And Scobie was like, for the return of Archetypes, Meghan joined by the incomparable Margaret Cho and the broadcaster Lisa Ling to explore stereotypes that continue to define Asian women, including media's use of problematic dragon lady trope. So, and then obviously Margaret Cho retweeted that. And this was also cool too. Christina Quinn, she is actually one of the producers of the podcast. She is at Gimlet, and so Gimlet and Archwell produced the podcast. So, and she's the one of the senior producers at Gimlet. So she tweeted, the latest drop from Archetypes, something went in my eye. Take a listen as we excavate and examine the tropes of the dragon lady. And so she quote tweeted Nancy Wang Nguyen, because Nancy was she was tweeting about it most of the day. She was so excited about it. She says, pinch me. I'm on Meghan Markle's podcast, Archetypes with Meghan, along with icons Margaret Cho and Lisa Ling to discuss the dragon lady trope and hypersexualization of Asian women in popular culture and beyond. And so I love how excited people have been. I mean, there are so many, like I literally was like, okay, I'm gonna do this, another podcast, but I literally bookmarked so many women and just falling over themselves about this podcast. Because when I talked about this podcast being such an incredible service to women, I mean, people that, are constantly saying, like, I'm really not into podcasts, but this really touched me in a deep way. It is affecting so many women. And it's amazing. It is absolutely, like, I knew that, we are all squaddies. We knew it was going to be good. But I don't think any one of us, at least, I shouldn't say that, maybe it's just me, I didn't think it would be this good. I mean, it is just like amazing. We'll come back to this in a second, but it has just been beyond. And I have a huge imagination about how amazing things could be. And this has been everything and so much more than I dreamed it would or dreamt it would be. Because again, it's like I'm learning so many things that I was like, oh wow, I just didn't know. I didn't even know that I would need to know this. And it's so deep and so impacting. And so I am just like, and I love the fact that the experts on these topic, and again, you'll see Nancy is that is her book, Real Inequality. She wrote about this, and there are video, actually, that's what I'll do. There's a really cool video about her talking about not just Asian women in film, but Black women, and how, when they get a role, a lot of them have to go in and sort of negotiate with the writers, because a lot of times the writers are predominantly white male. And so they may be saying stuff and then, that's not right. For example, if you're a Black person or an Asian person, that would be insulting to your culture that, a white male may not necessarily realize. And so they have to go in and there are rewrites and all of those things, because there's always well, yeah, I can't really say that. Or, yeah, no, that's not going to go down well. If I said that, that's an insult to my community. So not only do I have to do that, they have to go in and then have to work with the writers to make sure that whatever they're saying or whatever the lines are, that it's not insulting or disrespectful to the communities, and then on top of that, because there's so little amount of roles, they almost feel like they have the weight of their community or the weight of their people on their shoulders. So there's so much more than just taking a role and just going and playing, and acting, whatever. White actors most of them never have to go through any of this stuff, and so it's so important that what you were saying. So I'll actually go. I think I bookmarked it on my on Twitter, and I'll put it in our community page so you can see. But it's really interesting and incredible what she's talking about. So Real Inequality is her book, and I think it's a lot of it is based on life in, say, Hollywood and stuff like that, actors getting roles and how they try to navigate that space. So she is amazing, absolutely amazing. So anyways, we're going to move on in quickly. We're already over an hour. Actually, let me jump in here and see a couple more posts on this, and then we'll just move on quickly. Maverick says, I only got Spotify because of Harry and Meghan. Yeah, me too. I had Spotify, but I just never did anything. It just sort of sat there and I would never pay attention to it. And then now it's just like, yep, I'm always like checking Spotify. Oh, guys, have you listened to the song, like the theme song for Archetypes? That is an amazing song. I finally listened to the whole song the other day and I was like, I love this song. I absolutely love it. So it's on Spotify there, definitely. I think I'll just put a link to it so you can listen to it. But that whole song, I mean, I think her name is Emmy or something like that. I don't know. I'd never heard of her before. But someone posted it on Twitter and I was like, and I realized I had never heard the song. So it's right there on Spotify. So I listened to it and I was like, wow, this is an absolutely fantastic song. So yeah. And you can also look at the You can also look at the lyrics as well. It is really fantastic. Let's see. What y'all saying? Mrs. S. Hi, Mrs. S. How are you today? I hope you are well. Mrs. S says, she's talking about to Gwendolyn. Daniel, that movie made me cry so hard. I wanted to kick the daughter at the end. Oh my gosh, Mrs. S, when she was crying over the casket. I don't even know what you were talking about. I was like, Mrs. S, ooh, it's a little feisty there. Okay. Let's see. I don't even know what movie you're talking about. Let's see. Okay, Charities says, this definitely struck a nerve. It involves different socioeconomic and political background. It's very complex and hugely controversial. I am assuming you're talking about relations with Black and Asian relations. I'm assuming that's what you were talking about. And if so, yes, it is very, very controversial and definitely something we need to talk about. Because if there's going to be any improvement, dialogue needs to happen. Black Queen says, yes, boss, Mrs. Meghan, kicking butts and taking no prisoners for the betterment of humanity. I'm telling you, this thing is so powerful. It is powerful. And I'm like, this is what you just need to keep doing. Just, ignoring the little voices, the big voices on that little island, and and focus on what she's doing, because it's definitely having an incredible impact. Let's see. Emerald says, education. I didn't realize that Asian American history is not in the American history books. That's what, Margaret, I think, was saying that, because she was saying that, she, you could go through a whole life in school and never, ever read anything about Asian history. Isn't that incredible? That is absolutely incredible. And so, that's why we got to tell our own stories, man. We can't depend on others to tell. And now we are in a situation where they are banning books all of a sudden. Again, I mean, we are just like literally going back in time. It's like people are so afraid of progress that they're literally going back to a time when we are banning books. It's unreal. Donnie says, have a great evening, Pedal and Squatties. I've been an amazing day listening to all the podcasts and archetypes. Meghan is just beautiful. Much love. Have a great evening, darling. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Much love to you as well. So anyways, let's move on. There are a couple of other things I wanted to chat about. You might have heard this. We've talked quite a bit about the royal family in Denmark. And so we've talked about Queen Marguerite stripping her 4 grandbabies of their princess title. They're going to be stripped at the end of the year. And so obviously, and we've talked about 2 of those kids are biracial kids. It's like, you want to strip it from your biracial kids, and the other 2 are like collateral damage at the moment. And so that has not gone down well at all. And the very popular queen all of a sudden is getting backlash, and where she's being called an ice queen. And of course, her son has spoken out, his wife has spoken out, the heir to the throne, and his wife has spoken out. Her grandson, her oldest grandson, has now spoken out, and none of them have really the heir to the throne's wife she understands why the queen doesn't agree with it, but Prince Joachim doesn't, and none of his kids do. And now the little girl is getting bullied at school. So it's a whole mess right now. And so Queen Marguerite decides she is going to, sort of apologize, but not really. So she puts out this sort of apology today. It says, in recent days, there have been a strong reaction to my decision about the future use of titles for Prince Joaquin's 4 children. That affects me, of course. My decision has been a long time coming. With my 50 years on the throne, it is natural both to look back and to look ahead. It is my duty and my desire as queen to ensure that the monarchy always shapes itself in keeping with the times. Sometimes this means that difficult decisions must be made, and it will always be difficult to find the right moment. Holding a royal title involves a number of commitments and duties that in the future will lie with fewer numbers of the royal family. This adjustment, which I view as necessary future proofing of the monarchy, I want to take in my own time, as opposed to, passing it on to her heir. I have made my decision as queen, mother, and grandmother. But as a mother and grandmother, I underestimated the extent to which much my younger son and his family feel affected. That makes a big impression, and for that I am sorry. No one should be in doubt about my children, daughter-in-law, and grandchildren are my great joy and pride. I now hope that we as a family can find peace to find our way through this situation. And so that's her sort of apology. That's not really an apology. That's one of those, I'm getting backlash, so I need to, stop the press from talking badly about me and stop my kids from, going to the press. That's one of those to sort of pacify that whole situation. So she's not. It's so true. She said a whole lot of nothing in that statement. Oh, completely. It's a whole lot of nothing. Again, this is not really an apology, even though they're claiming it's an apology. It's not. She's just saying, I just don't want people, to think that I don't love my children, that I love my children, and, I'm sorry that you're hurt. And that's all that is, And, I guess she didn't really understand what a backlash she was going to get. But again, who knows where that's going to be. She's not retracting. She's still pulling their titles. So who knows? She's like, she hopes that her family can find peace. You pull titles from your biracial kids, and somehow I don't think that's going to be peaceful. So good luck with that, Queen Marguerite. Good luck with that. And again, I just look at the timing. Especially her in the UK with Prince Charles. Would I be surprised if, there is some reason, she did that now and again? She literally gave her son 5 days. It's like 5 days notice. She didn't even talk to her. She had not had a face-to-face conversation with him, and she had not had a face-to-face conversation with the grandkids. She just did it. And it's just like, good luck with thinking that's going to be peaceful. Good luck with that. But anyways, moving on. Oh, thank you so much, Maverick, and your super sticker. I appreciate it. Thank you for your donation. Thank you, everyone who has donated. I appreciate your support. And I just ran out of breath. And talk about Prince and Princess titles. Wales is not feeling Prince William's, Prince of Wales title at all. So we have this counselor in Wales, and he is like, no. He is, as you can see, it says the counselor is to submit a motion calling on oh shoot. See, I did this and I did a phonetics and I still am getting it wrong. It's like Gwynedd. I think it's called Gwynedd, the Council of Gwynedd, to not recognize the title of Prince of Wales and to shelve plans for an investiture. When William talked about not having a big one, this is the reason. They are not feeling him, especially when he went to Wales recently and, I already know a little bit of Welsh. It is like, he has to learn. I mean, again, this is a 40-year-old man who has known his whole life that he is going to one day inherit this. Why he is not fluent in this language is a complete mystery to me. Again, laziness. And so they are not feeling him at all. So this counselor is calling on Gwynedd, and I put it down there. Gwynedd is a county in northwestern Wales. The rest of it, I don't know how to say other than the words English say. The rest of it, I don't know. But just so you know, that's what Gwynedd is. It says a Gwynedd councillor is to submit a motion calling on the local authority not to recognize the title of Prince of Wales and to shelve plans for any investiture. Blenau Effentingyog, councillor of Boyd and these words I don't know how to say other than Elwyn, said that he strongly believes that the title Prince of Wales continues the historical symbol of dominance held over Wales by the royal family of another country. He is calling for all relevant authorities to abolish the Prince of Wales, abolish the title Prince of Wales, and that any discussion regarding the investiture in Gwynedd or in Wales need to be shelved completely. The motion to discuss Gwynedd's the motion will be discussed at Gwynedd's full council meeting held on Thursday, October 6th. So that's coming up in a couple of days. And then he goes on to say, this archaic oppressive tradition is a blight on our nation and has been for centuries. It gives the impression that the people of Wales are owned by the system rather than being free citizens living in our own country. He further says it is holding us back from stepping out independently and making our own way in the world. In my view, this is the time for the people of Wales to be given the opportunity to make our voices heard and abolish this insulting title passed on from the gentry as a continued oppressive symbol on our land and our people. And there is a petition going around. A petition against continuing the Prince of Wales title has now attracted more than 35,000 signatures. And it says, down at the bottom, that they firmly believe that now is the time to discuss the issue. And so, again, I can't disagree with anything he says. I mean, yeah, it's more than time to abolish these ridiculous titles and give people have their freedom. So, I mean, the petition only has 35,000 signatures. Hopefully, more people would sign the petition, and hopefully this goes through where they abolish it, and then definitely get full independence. So, good luck. Wishing all the people of Wales. I mean, yeah, it's like for someone, again, the insult for this man to, and then he's saying those things in Wales. It's like, you only knows a few words. And again, Prince William has known his whole life that he will inherit this. Like, again, why is he not fluent in this language? And to think it's endearing that, he's going to be learning. It's like, seriously? Anyways, again, I'm only coming onto this stuff today, and some of these words I had never seen until today. I would give myself a pass because I don't know how to say all these words. I'm not inheriting you know what I mean? I'm not inheriting a title that I've known that I'm inheriting for 40 years. So, or, however long he's known, but it just, anyways, I hope they abolish it. So there you go. And Nadine White, I just, completely left turn from Prince William and his mess. Nadine White, who I quote on here a lot, because she's the race reporter from The Independent, she won an award, and I was like, oh, let's honor her and the wonderful work that she does with The Independent. Again, I use her articles, I quote her articles a lot on here, and so she says, I'm thrilled to have won a Black Talent Award in the media category. This prestigious award highlights Black talent across the range of sectors. Thanks to the judges and everyone involved. This was a lovely surprise. I wrote a whole essay, and she did a whole essay about it, which I didn't get a chance to read as yet, as I pulled it in just before we started. But anyways, so congratulations to Nadine on her award. And again, I love her work. She's been doing incredible work, focusing on in the UK, race relations in the UK, and writing for for the independence. She also has a documentary that's called the barrel people, you know, in terms of, you know, if you're from the Caribbean and you have family in the US or the UK, they will send you barrels. Like I was like, yeah, I used to get barrel from my mom, you know. And so yeah, so it's about that. It's about the Windrush generation. She her parents are from the Windrush generation. So she's doing incredible work. If you're on Twitter, her handle is Nadine_Writes, and you will find her there. So wonderful work, and kudos to Nadine. And so just to plug my blog, I wrote a blog just in case you haven't seen it. The link is in our community page. Please take a read. Please let me know what you think. Please leave a comment. You know, I am practicing my writing. It is not as fast, like I'm not as fast with it as, you know, talking. I'm used to talking. Writing is still hard, but I'm getting the hang of it. So thank you so much to all of you who have read it. And yes, someone saw it and it's like, Petal, this picture is really busy. And I'm like, yes, it is. It's meant to be that way. And it's meant to be like you're throwing article, because that's how it felt. It felt, you know, during that 10-day period when you know, between the Queen dying and her burial, it felt like every time you turn around, the British press were throwing these horrible, you know, articles at the Sussexes. And so yes, that is exactly the feel that I felt, and that is exactly the feel I want this to have. It needs to feel like you're just piled on with a bunch of, you know, mess and gossip and all of that stuff that they were throwing at the Sussexes, you know, via their palace sources. So that's just exactly why that's a mess, and that's why it looks like that. So yeah, that was the feel I was going for. It's not supposed to be orderly. So anyways, and then sometimes I gotta worry about I was like, are British people okay? I was like, I don't know if you guys are okay or not, because apparently this is a controversy, you know, a husband and wife holding hands for some reason. I mean, we saw that nonsense during the, you know, during Queen Betty's you know, going home ceremony. And the whole business about Harry and Meghan holding hands became this big, why are they holding hands in a few? And so now, you know, we have these incredibly beautiful pictures, and now that's an issue too. People, it's like, so for some reason, a husband and wife holding hands is headline news, and I'm like, are you people okay over there? Is that things? I mean, whatever it is they're putting in that water, you probably need to just say no to it. You know, just drink milk or something, because it's like, they're husband and wife. It's okay if they hold hands. You know, it doesn't need to be a headline. It's just two people in love and they're husband and wife. They do that sometimes. It's just, I'm like, you know, that said, I mean, ooh, these pictures are hot. They are fantastic. I mean, you know, and then the other issue, you know, other people were like, well, you know, the UK so-called Fab Four put out their picture a couple of days ago, so the Sussexes they've probably felt like they had to put out their picture, and it's just like, the Sussexes have been putting out things, you know, ahead of Archetypes since over the weekend. They started doing it, was Friday or whatever. They started putting out stuff from the same event. This is just two more, you know, and so it's just like, you people are crazy. And again, you know, you look at it, compared this and then to the, you know, I thought of putting those picture again, and I was just like, no, that picture is just too weird, you know, for grinning people the night before a funeral. Is like, that was just a little morbid. And so, I mean, you know, compared that to this, I mean, I can see why they're like, you're overshadowing. And it's like, you're like a continent away. Why, you know, it's like, it's not their fault they're hot, and those that you have there are not. It's not Harry and Meghan's fault. You chose the ones that are not and kicked out the ones that are hot, so it's your fault. So it's just like, deal, you know. Yes, sister, they are hot. These pictures are fire. It's like you chose the boring ones, and so just deal with it. It's just unreal. But Church Nelly, hey Church Nelly, how are you? Church Nelly says those pictures are iconic. I mean, look at that. And I can see why they're jealous too. It's like, just a picture with how Harry and Meghan and just there's something about a man just holding his girl or his wife or a girlfriend, whatever, just holding the fingers. There's something about that is just like cool, so I can understand them, like, because when you look at that morbid picture, you could tell, like, Prince Charles or King Charles. I always forget he's a king now. King Charles is at least hugging Camilla, and then you have over there William with both his hands in front of him, and Kate trying to look like she's kind of hugging him, but she's probably just putting her hand in the back, so it kind of looks like. But William is not even feeling it. He is not feeling it at all. He just looks like this tall person just standing there looking at his face, and Kate is trying to look like she's a little bit affectionate, but it's just not working. So I can see why they're a little bit jealous. I mean, I would be jealous too if I look like that. If I have to look at that and then you look at the morbid people. So again, it's their fault. So yeah. Sister says Salt Island government is a mess, yet the civil rights are focusing on that. Well, again, distraction. It's a distraction. They don't want their readers to be focusing on what is happening in the government. So whatever something is wrong in the government, you'll find this kind of mess where they'll twist and do whatever to distract people from not focusing on whatever is happening in the government, with Liz Truss and the rest of them. So yeah, it's distraction. Joan Hickey says, why are they incredulous? A wife accompany her husband, or husband, in this case, husband accompany wife, because it is Meghan's event. But yeah, it just jealousy. Let's see. Kikis and Cream says, everyone, let's continue to pray for the Sussexes and each other. Pray for the world. Absolutely, 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 absolutely. So yeah. Adrian says, Cookies, we had nothing about Denmark until Lizzie died. She's another one that needs to retire. I say abolish all these ridiculous monarchies. That would be my way. I'd go with that one. Definitely retire and abolish. That is what I say. When you could, again, choose a monarchy over your family and, destroy your kids the way that she did. I mean, that is just not fit for purpose. That thing needs to go. It absolutely, absolutely needs to go. So yeah, it is not worth it. Let's see. Church Nelly says their picture was taken before the Queen's funeral. They shouldn't be smiling. They should not. But again, going back to that morbid picture, that was the night before the funeral, and they were grinning. And again, as we pointed out, they are the ones. All those four people are the ones that gained the most from the Queen's death. None of them looked like they were mourning. Not one of them. To this whole, there are a couple of times that like, okay, the cameras are on, so we gotta look like we're mourning, but no. Mourning royal style, which is, thank God, I've finally gotten to be king. It's just like, anyways. Angela Thomas says they're trying to distract the people that read tabloids because the other people that listen to James O'Brien and other station are getting information. Yeah, it's like distract. And people would rather focus on, quote unquote hating Harry and Meghan than focus on the fact that our government is falling apart, our money is is a mess, our economy is a mess. I can't feed my kids, I can't heat my home. But let's hate Harry and Meghan, who live a continent away. That's much more appealing. So that's exactly where we are with that. A couple more. Beaton Pow, hello, Beaton Pow. How are you? Beaton says, I have your podcast playing on my cell and my TV at the same time. Thumbs up on both. Man, Beaton Pow, I am so honored. Thank you. And I am so happy that you're here on your phone and your TV. Wow. I am absolutely honored. I'm bringing our entire community with you. Thank you. Let's see. Sonia says London Bridge is still falling. Yeah, I agree. Denise says Harry is king of his own castle. He doesn't need their stuff. Chill, Britain. You know, I'm telling you, yesterday I was really hoping, and we talked about, that cycle of grief. And I think they're kind of I think there's a little bit of a relapse right now, which I was afraid of, but that cycle of grief, I'm still hoping that they could really stay at that place of acceptance and move forward with their life. They're just not there yet. So anyways, let's see, a couple more. Fire says, oh, you do too? Fire says, I do too. I do the same, TV and cell phone. Wow, it's so funny. Like, I don't own a television, so I only listen either on my pad or my phone, or, well, sometimes my laptop, but mostly my pad and my phone. So, wow, okay. We have a couple of techies here. Let's see. Couple more. Charles' birthday is in November. Can't wait for the party. Oh, that's right. His birthday. Someone said his birthday is like, I don't know, 4 or 5 days before the Crown, before the Crown premieres. That is going to be, oh my goodness, that'll be a horrible time for him. Like, what? He's not going to have a good birthday. I would guarantee he is not going to have a good birthday, because I am sure that he will be thinking about, he will be thinking about the Crown. Maybe I'm just terrible for laughing, but yeah, it just... And can you imagine if Harry's book comes out around that too? I wouldn't want to be him. Not to say that. But anyways, all right. So we have been here for a while. I was gonna wrap it up. One more. Grace, hi Grace. Tukoru. I don't remember this last name. Hi Grace. Grace says, LOL, nobody wants William and all of his titles. Nobody is feeling Kate and her stolen tiaras. And all of their stolen tiaras, really. No, nobody is feeling any of that mess. Nobody is feeling any of that mess. So yeah. Let's see. One more. Oh, somebody's not having Mrs. S still. We still have sound. Maybe refresh, Mrs. S. Refresh. I mean, we're ending in a second, so you can always come back and watch the replay. So yeah. But anyways, guys, thank you for indulging me in all of this. And thank you guys who called in and shared with us. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Maverick. Thank you guys so much for coming on and chatting for a few minutes, and your points. Thank you for your incredible points. And yeah, we do need to definitely have a conversation about Asian Black relations. That would be quite awesome. And oh, this is so cool. I forgot I had this. One of our squatties put this together, and I was like, ooh, I love this. Sussex number. Let's see, what is her name? I forgot. Katerina, her handle is Ellie_Katerina. She put this together, and I thought it was so fantastic. You know, their portraits and I don't know if it's a portrait, but photos in 2020, 2021, and 2022. I mean, all of them fantastic. It is just like these two are just so photogenic. It's just like, oh, they're scrumptious. Absolutely scrumptious. So I saw that and I just thought like, oh my Lord, it is just beautiful. They are just beautiful. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. Thank you to our awesome moderators, Lydia, Trish, Nelly, Karen M, Julie Rock, Cookies and Cream. Thank you guys for keeping our space safe as usual, keeping it troll free as usual. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna end this with some music here. There we go. A little bit of, there we go. And thank you so much to our awesome 2 Cents crew members who support the channel monthly. And I appreciate every single one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And thank you to all of you who give to the channel, whether it's super chats, super stickers, super thanks, PayPal, Cash App, merchandise. Thank you all so much for your support. I appreciate it. Again, if you have not subscribed, please do. Please share this podcast with your friends. Help us to get to 5,000 and beyond. Please, thank you so much. Like, share, join the channel. I appreciate all of you so much for all of it. So I will, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, spending an hour and 41 minutes with me. Thank you all so much. I love you, and I will see you next time. Bye.